Checking out the quality of this camera here. Brand new camera. Anyways, recently I've realized something about life. We don't really give appreciation for what we have. The fact that we're alive is just a miracle. The fact that we're even here. I've realized that about myself because I look back and I started to study kind of where I came from. My grandfather used to be a Golden Gloves boxer and he was an alcoholic. Unfortunately, he took his boxing career home with him and he beat the shit out of my grandma and my mom and my uncles and aunts and everything else. And one night he came home and my uncle had unloaded the guns that night. Just intuitively, he unloaded the guns that night, took all the bullets out. My grandpa walks in, grabs a gun, points it right at my mother's head as she's cowering in the corner, and he pulls the trigger several times, but there was no bullets in there. So I'm here today before you because of a bunch of miracles like that happening before I was even born. The fact that I'm here saying this, speaking on this camera, it's a miracle. I've had things coming, like pointy objects flying at my head and stop inches away from my head and drop into the ground. I can't really explain it any other way except for, I've got some sort of greater force watching out over my life, and I'm really grateful to actually be alive. How many times have you taken your life for granted? The fact that you're here, the fact that you were that one out of a million sperm that made it through to the egg, it's a miracle. Stop taking your life for granted because we're all here for a reason. We're all here to actually strive for more, to do more, to be more, to live more, to love more. Love being the key word because, I used to be a religious person, and one of the greatest commandments is to love your neighbor as yourself. The hidden part about that is that you have to first love yourself before you can love that guy next to you. Because if you're in here and you're going around and you're saying, oh, I hate this about me, I hate that about me, you're tearing yourself apart. Just like that, that's going to go and reflect outside into the world that you're around and that you're in. This person next to you, you're going to start to look at all the flaws. You're going to start to look at all the other things. But if you can go inside yourself and you can actually start to say, hey, you know what? I'm not perfect, but I love myself anyway. I appreciate who I am because I'm amazing. I am amazing. When you can start to say, I am amazing, you can start to all of a sudden realize and look at the world and see the outside things, how amazing the world actually is in itself. Because we live in such an incredible, amazing world. Honestly, it's so full of blessings, so full of so many great things. Like one of the things that was sort of a mixed blessing for me, I just started to bring this up recently with a few people, is my brother was stabbed to death 23 years ago. Now, it's a mixed blessing because, obviously my brother's dead. But I learned about the media and I learned about social, like everything, all the way the news controls your mind. Because I saw what they did to the story. They ripped it apart. They made it look like my brother deserved to die. And that's sad. That sucks when that happens because nobody deserves that kind of flack. Nobody deserves to be treated that way and to be talked about that way. But the media does it every day. And how many of you out there watching this right now, how many of you out there are actually influenced by what the media says? Right? We sit there and we look at the news and we're just like feeding our mind with all this crap. Ever since my brother was stabbed to death, I haven't watched it. I haven't even been able to stomach it. I haven't been able to look at the news in the same way that anybody else does. And some people watch it religiously and they just put all that crap in their mind. That crap just goes in and feeds it. And then they start their day that way. And then they wonder why their day is so shitty. Their life is so shitty. All they ever see is the negative shit. It's like that story of the two wolves, the white wolf and the black wolf. Whichever one you feed the most will prevail, will grow stronger, and will prevail. Which one are you going to feed? You're going to feed the white wolf, which is all about positivity, love, and joy, and prosperity, and moving forward. or are you going to feed the black wolf, which is all about hatred and fear and everything else that's negative? Whichever one you feed will grow. The mind is a very fertile soil. It doesn't care what you plant in it. So I've started to learn a little bit about the mind, the matrix, and everything else that goes on within it. And I'm actually running a little bit of a course here in the next little while, teaching people about the matrix of the mind. I'll be doing a few different things, live streams, be doing a few different things. And